Hi, and welcome to the launch of The Power of DX. So, in these sessions, we talk around the latest advancements in technology, what we're doing, and how it's shaping the industry. So, I'm your host today. My name's Deena, and I've got a couple of special guests that were joining us today. So, we've got Mark and Paul,
Hi, Deena.
hello, who are our data center modernization specialists. They've got a little bit more knowledge than me, but we'll go with it. So, do you want to introduce yourselves? And did you have a good journey, actually, more importantly?
Journey was good today for a change. No delays on the trains. No,
That always helps.
it does.
Yeah, it wasn't
Paul?
too bad. Bit of an early start though.
Yeah, you started well early.
Yeah.
You started at like,
Well, I got the train at around about 6, but I had to get there first. It was a four half.
and you had to do your
Yeah.
hair, makeup,
Yeah,
get
that's the
ready,
one.
all
I
that
mean, you know.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And Mark, you came from Birmingham.
I did, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. So we're filming in London today, which is quite nice. It makes a change from
It does
our
for
home
me.
offices.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do in these sessions, if it's cool with you guys, is talk around data center modernization. You know, this is the next best thing, and why are people doing it? And firstly, why is Nutanix like the best thing, the best thing out there for data center modernization? So maybe Mark, if we start with that.
Yeah, so I think when we talk about data center modernization, we've got to think why businesses are actually looking to do that.
Yeah.
And businesses need to become more agile and be able to react to changes in the world, in the business as well. And a good example of that is a couple of years ago with COVID, people starting to work from home and companies having to adapt with that. And Nutanix is a product that can help with that sort of infrastructure change, essentially. The fact that it is very, very agile. It has links into the cloud. We do support cloud deployments with Nutanix as well. Nutanix is not just an on-premise HCI solution.
Yeah.
There is a lot of tools and offerings from Nutanix that enable that hybrid cloud. So it's dynamically built in, essentially. Nutanix is a nice, easy to deploy on-premise solution. It can be deployed in the cloud. And again, talking about COVID, where you've got an on-premise environment with Nutanix and being able to migrate that seamlessly to the cloud, whether that's AWS, Azure, the customer again has a choice. There's no lock-in with Nutanix. And it's the fact that because we can migrate dynamically, businesses can react better to environmental situations like COVID and so on, or even business changes. For whatever reason, business needs to change dynamically.
So in essence, it's a really cool software platform that takes something really complex and makes it really simple.
Yeah, and that's one of Nutanix's big ethos is with the one-click simplicity. So what Nutanix is relatively easy to deploy. However, you still need some support deploying Nutanix. But once it is deployed, it is very easy to manage. It essentially gives you that cloud-like feel, but on-premise. And obviously, because it's an on-premise solution with HCI and you're not necessarily going to cloud, you've got an idea of your fixed costs, your outlook with that. But again, as I mentioned before, it can be deployed in the cloud if needs be, if there's a requirement for that, whether it's for a DR solution. And again, coming back to the simplicity of deployment and manageability, the one-click ethos is very, very simple to create VMs, create storage spaces, create the software-defined networking, the software-defined storage, all in one interface. And it is just very easy to manage and deploy, and that's what some of the benefits of the Nutanix are.
So in essence, you're going from a traditional three-tier where there's server, storage, networking, and where there's a cost associated with all those people that manage that, into a really simple, small footprint product, hardware product with software sits on top of it. So that's quite sustainable.
Again, yes, and obviously the reason for that simplicity and getting away from that three-tier environment is those multiple points of management.
Yeah.
And obviously, if everything is software defined, you've got less infrastructure manageability, and not only that, it's more dynamic, it's more agile. The changeability of the options is so much more versatile.
So that means businesses can then use their people to do stuff that makes them more money. Is that right? Like you could redeploy people that are managing infrastructure.
And this is why people are looking at the cloud, is because they want to get away from managing infrastructure. All they want to do is they want to make sure that their applications and their data is up and running so they can run their business. Okay, you want to get away from managing infrastructure. If you can have people streamlining their data, streamlining their applications, those efficiencies, especially in the way markets are now, is where you make that additional profit, essentially.
Perfect. So you don't have rooms and rooms of, big, massive data centers. You can have smaller footprint, reduce your power and cooling, reduce your the size of the room, heating, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that obviously comes down to sustainability. So a lot of companies, especially when they're doing business with other companies, they are marked and measured on sustainability and what their sustainability outlook is. So reducing power and cooling is a big thing. So being able to reduce your footprint, your data center sprawl, being able to reduce that is a big thing, right? Not only that, it's the fact that the Nutanix platform is based on x86 hardware. So it's off-the-shelf components. So again, at the end of the life of the hardware, essentially, it can be redeployed somewhere else. So there's no bespoke hardware which is built only to do a single job. So essentially that kit could be repurposed later on at the end of its production life.
So it sounds like Nutanix is really like at the key, it's a real key thing of how to modernize data centers, which is the way the future is going, because more and more data out there is being consumed, and this is just, helps that.
Yeah, and again, because it's all software defined, that's where the agility comes. So you get that agility, you get that flexibility. Again, going back to the deployments in the cloud and the hybrid cloud, being able to deploy Nutanix in the cloud gives you that agility where businesses can react instantly, and they're not siloed, if you like, into a particular area and stuck in that environment. It's the ability to change and have that choice to change, and Nutanix gives you that.
Sounds pretty cool. Like, it's really cool, actually. When you've come from a lot of 3-tier stuff and now you're looking at software defined, it's really amazing. But obviously that kit has to sit on hardware, right? Because hardware will run the software. So over to Paul then. So HPE is a really good platform, hardware platform. It's well known. So if you could just talk to us about why, for DX, HPE is a really good platform for the software to sit on, that would be amazing.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So I'm sure that a lot of our audience will know about the HP platform, the HP servers, the HP ethos, and how we produce servers, and we do a lot of R&D into the servers to make sure that they're highly performance, highly scalable, and they work with everything else. So if we take, for instance, we do a lot of ratification on CPUs that are coming to the market, whether it be Intel, AMD, same with memory, same with cards, whether that be Mellanox or whatever that might be. We have to make sure that's going to work. So with the relationship, and if I go back with leveraging some of the things that Nutanix does, which Mark's already spoke about, is that we work with Nutanix to make sure that the software that is being put onto these servers is going to work when you get it on site. There is no, it's almost like a plug and play, if you will. We've done the hard work for you to make sure that that specific software is going to work in our servers. In fact, when you buy the DX servers, it already comes preloaded on there, ready to just be deployed for whatever version of the Nutanix software that you're actually going to get. So it's easier to actually to do that and deploy that.
So it's jointly engineered.
It's jointly engineered. Cool. We always work closely with all our partners at HP because it's got to work. You don't want a server turning up on site. You're going to plug it in and suddenly you're getting beeps all over the place and you start to download firmware. But that's when they're coming to, again, the one-click upgrade as well. So obviously we use something called InfoSight, which is the same thing. So it allows you to monitor the servers. It can predictive analytics in there as well, which leads on to what Nutanix does as well. So gel together, it's just an unstoppable server.
I was going to say, actually, now you've touched on that, is the GUIs that Nutanix have, like Prism and the interface, the user interface, Mark, it's really like intuitive, isn't it? And it tells you. Can you talk to us just a little bit about
Yes.
how it monitors the hardware and the software? Because people are like, hardware is going to be managed by X, software is going to be managed by X. But if you could talk to us about how Nutanix actually monitors the hardware and the software, that would be cool.
Yes. So Nutanix's interface is Nutanix Cloud Manager.
Okay.
So it's no longer called Prism.
Yeah. I always forget that.
Yeah. So
slap on the wrist.
It's now Nutanix Cloud Manager, and essentially that will monitor the hardware and software. So it's a nice, simple web-based interface. So there's nothing to install or anything like that. Very intuitive. You've got analytics that are running in there as well. So not only it's an interface where you manage stuff in terms of workloads, storage, networking. You've also got analytics running in the background. So the analytics is basically looking at what's happening in your environment, how you're consuming that environment, and you'll get alerts and things like that where it will say, look, if you continue to consume at this rate, you're actually going to run out of space in a certain amount of time, or run out of compute in a certain amount of time, and it enables the managers of that environment to make decisions early on. Predictive decisions, good decisions, to the point where you see a lot of it historically, where customers have bought compute storage and they don't know how much they actually need, so they overspend. And really, in business, that money could be spent somewhere else, because essentially you've bought more than you need, you're powering it, you're cooling it, but you don't actually necessarily need it. So it's not just the initial CapEx cost, but it's also the operational cost as well. So Nutanix have got those analytics built in. There is also security analytics, so anomaly detection. So it's going to monitor your environment for a baseline. And if there are any changes to that baseline, for instance, certain workloads start consuming more CPU or more storage than they normally would, then it could indicate that there's an issue. It might be something compromised or something like that, and you would get an alert around that as well. So with the analytics, it's not just there for managers to make good decisions. It's a little bit of security
like a
as well.
warning system, isn't it? Just to say, look, you are getting to the point of you need to look at this, and this is how we're moving forward to be able to consume IT equipment, HP, Nutanix working together. It gives you that ability to get in front of all your problems and take away the strain from your IT managers, so they can go away and do innovations somewhere else. So you don't need an army of people monitoring your kit anymore. With HP and Nutanix, especially with the reporting software, it just makes life so much easier.
And a GreenLake piece fits into that as well.
Yeah, the GreenLake piece fits in. So when Mike was talking about how you were looking at your service, how you were consuming your data, if we're in February now, you are consuming this amount. But if you carry on that trend, you will need to then think about adding extra nodes or adding extra capacity into the servers, rather than, oh, we've got a problem now because we can't spin up a VM because we don't have the available capacity or compute there to do it.
And then you can just get that sized up, created, quoted.
So we go back to the ways that we can not only consume it, but also the ways that we can purchase. So I know it's a bit technical, but there's a couple of ways that you can purchase.
Techie webinar, go for it.
So it is there's different ways that you can purchase DX. So Nutanix and HP together, traditional CapEx model. Then you've got the financing model, and then we've got the GreenLake model, which everybody out there knows that what HP doing. Anything that can be put or purchased via HP or Nutanix can be done via GreenLake that way. So as a consumption-based model, which frees up money again for the IT CFOs to look at and put in investment elsewhere.
So I'm thinking there's two big powerhouses here. So Nutanix, that are the leaders in HCI, although they've got other products that simplify data centers. Then you've got HPE, that are clearly well-known, reliable. So you've got this thing called Net Promoter Scores, right? Which means, what does that mean, Mark? If you want to tell people.
So Net Promoter Scores are how consumers of that particular vendor review that vendor. And your Net Promoter Score starts at -100 to +100.
Yeah.
So a lot of technological companies are around about 40, 50, which is still very good.
Yeah.
When you're
So
measuring,
that's how fast they fix
Yeah.
something if it
yeah.
goes.
So when you're measuring from minus 100
Yeah.
to plus 100, 50 is pretty good.
Yeah.
However, Nutanix are actually at the top end there in the 90s.
Wow.
So when you come to utilize Nutanix support, you're actually getting through to somebody who's going to deal with your problem end to end. You're not going to get a person who's going to have a go at it, try and solve the problem, and when they can't do it, pass it on to third line support. It's going to be the person who's going to resolve your issue. And that's why their net promoter score is so good.
I think HP have a really high net
we have
promoter
the same. I
score.
don't know the exact number, but we do.
I think it's high
We
90s.
are high 90s up there, but it's the same again. So with the support, you're going to ring somebody and they're going to warn that from start to
I mean, the
finish.
thing is, you make the call, somebody says the software is that intuitive that it will just look at everything and then just be able to say whether it's a hardware or a software fault. You know, if there is a fault, I mean, it rarely happens because, you know, they are robust platforms, but it does happen, right?
But this is the thing, things break.
Yeah.
But how quickly you respond and get them fixed is what makes the difference, right?
Yeah, it's
the same as anything. Things will break, but if we can get it fixed quicker, then the satisfaction for the customer and the expectation for the customer is much.
I mean, you don't want any downtime, right?
Yeah,
so you want you bring your business
but
back up.
But that is built into Nutanix anyway. So it will run in a degraded state, and
Okay.
that's how Nutanix is sized.
Yeah.
So if we have node outages or disk outages or anything like that, network card outages, we can sustain failures.
So how does that replication work? So can you just explain a little bit more about how it's sized?
Yes.
So
when we actually size Nutanix, we size it with failure in mind.
Okay.
So it's N+1 effectively. So we size that workload, and we have a redundant node on that. Again, as the environment scales, you can change that to N+2, so you can support 2-node failure. But essentially, that is the way Nutanix is sized. It's always sized with failure in mind. So if you have a node outage, it means that your system is still going to run at full capacity.
So there's less downtime.
Well, there's still no downtime.
Oh, cool. Okay, so even better. That's pretty cool.
So again, having that N+1 as well, it means that you don't have to necessarily have Windows to do upgrades.
Okay.
You can actually do it during production time because you can support that node outage. It means you can have a node offline while you're doing upgrades.
That's really interesting that you can do it whilst it's still in production, because with traditional free tier, you may have to take your system down, reboot it, which means your company's hemorrhaging money every single second.
I mean, a lot of companies now are 365 days a year online constantly. They can't have an outage.
I mean, if one of those shopping websites went down, imagine how much money, the most popular one in the world, imagine how much money they make a second. So this kind of environment really helps.
And that's exactly how Nutanix is designed. It's designed like the web scalers, like the AWSs, like the Googles, like the Azure.
So it doesn't get...
It is designed for failure in mind. Yeah.
It's pretty nifty stuff, this. You two are seem to be quite... knowledgeable.
It seems. I like the word seems sounds really good at this point, doesn't it?
But you are, sorry, you are. So we've gone through Nutanix, why it's such a good, data center modernization product, if we like. Then we've gone through a little bit about HPE and what you do and how you do it. So I guess the other thing we wanted to talk to the audience about today is like TD SYNNEX and how they can help, what do you do as TD SYNNEX to help partners that want to go on that journey but are unsure about how to go on that journey, and what do they need to do, and how do we help them?
Well, I think we can both cover this one. It should be easy enough. I mean, we've got...
You can go first.
Oh, thank you very much, Mike. Yeah, I mean, the buzz, that's the one. So, at TD SYNNEX, we've got a wealth of experience within HP and Nutanix. We've got our own in-house installation guys that will go out and assist us to actually do that. We've got, I'm pretty sure we've got an academy that can show customers how to do things, how to get onboarded, what Nutanix is, and we can even demo either ourselves as TD SYNNEX, or we could do it as a joint between TD SYNNEX, HP, and Nutanix. So it's not just us. So we can have 3 people or 3 companies in there all together, because we are selling this as a one solution, a one-stop shop. So it's good to customers to see the integration that we have between ourselves, HP, and Nutanix.
So if I'm a partner and I'm looking to go, oh God, I want to go on this journey, let's figure out how we go from 3-tier to HCI, let's say in the first instance. That's kind of first step that people take. I don't have any skills in-house. I don't know how to size a scenario. I don't even know what I need to talk about. So I guess TD SYNNEX have got a pre-sales division. Mark, you're the one of the leads.
So TD SYNNEX, what we can do is we can assist customers from conception of their opportunity to deployment of that opportunity.
Amazing.
So if they don't have that skills for Nutanix or HPDX, we've got pre-sales team who can help them. So whether that's enablement training, going on calls with customers, helping out with sizing, helping out with purchasing, financing, and then if they don't have the skills for deployment, we can do that as well. But what we would want to do is we want to take those people on those customers even on that journey with us.
Yeah.
So as they start to do more business around Nutanix and HPDX, we want to enable them to help them help themselves, if you like.
So you're kind of educating them as they go along.
Yeah.
So you do a first few with them. So you'd look at they'd give you, I guess, a workload from their customer. You'd then look at sizing it. So you'd put it into the Nutanix.
Yeah, Nutanix sizer, or get the Nutanix collector tool, and we can help them with that. We can help them with that journey.
So you're taking away any sort of
anything they're not comfortable with, we can assist with. Any areas that they're not, they don't have that education in, and what that means is they don't have to have any experience with HPE or Nutanix, and they can go out and sell and deliver Nutanix DX deployment.
Brilliant. So we've identified that they've got an opportunity, they've given you a workload, they're kind of looking at, oh God, what do we do next? So we've got some proof of technology kit, I believe, at TD SYNNEX, which is, some kit, HPE kit, right?
It is HPE kit, yeah. And we've got that, and we can go out with customers and help them with that kit.
Oh,
cool. Previously, where we've used that is it's a sales tool as well, right? So where we've got that proof of technology, we can take that to customers, end users. They can put their workload on it. They can see how that workload functions.
So it can't go into production, but they've got it in a flight case delivered.
Exactly, but they can move copies of their workload on it, and then they can compare it to their existing environment.
Exactly. Yeah. Just throw things at it and see how well it operates.
And that's HPE, right?
Yeah.
And again, that gives the customer some trust in the product as well. If they actually see it working and they get to touch it and feel it, it's real for them, right?
I mean, it's software, right? We talk about Nutanix, it's software. But as we said earlier, it is running on hardware, and we give customers the opportunity to use that kit, borrow it 4-ish weeks. It's in high demand, so we will be looking at trying to get another one. But it's worked quite well on that. So it seems like TD SYNNEX have got loads of stuff that can help partners, skills, the specialization in your teams. We've got solutions. We can even do multi-vendor solution, like if someone wants to run Citrix and do some end user compute, we can get the right people in to help. So it's not just looking at the core HCI area that we're looking at, it's making that solution bigger, I guess.
It is. It's basically tailoring it for the customer, how they want to consume that product, and have the trust in us that we can deliver that within TD and give them that support going forward, and then to develop whatever else they've got, because they're not. I don't think that when a customer sees and they get these solutions in, they're going to look at it and think, you know what, we could do so much more with this, and then they start developing it and then putting more things in, and before you know it, they're no longer using a 3-tier architecture. It's all HP and Nutanix.
Well, why wouldn't they?
Well, you'd be, you want to, wouldn't you?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So we kind of touched on all that stuff, and then when we've installed it, so we've gone through the pre-sales, we helped them with that. We've helped them decide what they need. We've helped them procure it. It's then gone to the end user. It's gone into a data center. So we've got an academy, Tech Data Academy, a TD SYNNEX Academy, where we look at training end users. So we're, in essence, we run the courses on behalf of Nutanix, don't we? And we're one or two education partners for them.
Yes, so we're an authorised education partner for
Oh,
Nutanix, and we've got certified educators or instructors, if you like, and those instructors do have real world experience.
Yes.
So that they actually go out and do deployments as well. So they're coming from.
So they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're coming from a real world experience. They're not just a train the trainer type of person. They are people who have gone out, deployed it, and then are passing on that education based on the Nutanix curriculum.
That is really good, because that's all about managing the infrastructure infrastructure and software once it's in, and troubleshooting. So that's the kind of stuff I guess they cover.
It is, yeah. So again, it does support the certifications as well that you want to do from Nutanix. So any of the NCPs or NCSE, then obviously they're the instructor-led courses that we can do for those.
So from a technical perspective, actually, I'm glad you touched on that, just around the education for partners. I know we take them on the journey and we do, help them. So as you said, they shadow us and, work with us. So we run NCSE courses, so the Nutanix Certified Systems Engineer.
That's right, yeah.
It's a mouthful, that is. Don't try saying that after a few drinks. But basically, we run the courses, don't we? So every quarter, you yourself run those technical
I'll
sessions.
Some of those technical sessions to support customers.
And they help with certifications. So you get a cert. They are live proctored. So a lot of people say, can you help us pass? Can't do that because they're live proctored. No. But you do the sizing workshops too, don't you?
Yes, we do, yeah. So we do the support for the SCA, which is the Sizing Certified Associate, I think it is. Yeah. There's too many acronyms in IT.
Runs through our industry,
generally,
yeah.
But yeah, I do the sizing workshops as well, and that's things that we can do for our customers, and that's part of that enablement and getting our customers to help themselves as well.
Well, this is the thing; it's all about it's a technical sale, right? We all understand that
it's a solution sale.
Yeah, it's a solution sale. So all this help that we can give to partners is what they need. And
to go to market, yeah.
So we've had a lot of constraint issues, as we all know, over the past 2 or 3 years. Supply has been really lead times have been really long. So one brilliant bit of news we've had actually from HPE, and it was HPE that have done this with us and in conjunction with Nutanix, is the lead times they're now committing to 30-day delivery on most DX kit. So it's pretty cool news. Thanks for your time today, and thanks for coming in and helping with this. It's been really, really insightful.
Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Anytime.
So that's a wrap on this HPE DX webinar. Look forward to a few more. We should hopefully get some more content, but thank you, and thanks to all the listeners for tuning in.